Autoweek today is in Tryon, North Carolina, where we're going to be talking to the man who does the sculpturing for the Borg-Warner trophy. It's William Behrends, and we've got a special guest. It's winner of the 102nd Indianapolis 500, Will Power. Mr. Behrends, this is your studio. You've done every face on the Borg-Warner trophy since 1990. This is when we get to see Will Power's clay figure that you will then work down to the little sculptor that goes on to the Borg-Warner trophy itself. How would you categorize the process, and what kind of face would you say Will Power has to work with?
Well, wonderful face. I've enjoyed doing it. Very expressive, got good, strong features. I do this more or less life-size copy as a study, and then, as he said, I work it down to the image on the trophy is about the size of an egg. But this is preparation for that, and I'm really learning his face, and it helps me do a better job on the smaller one.
And you have been doing the every face since Ari Lyondike in 1990.
That's right.
How did you get this position with Borg-Warner?
Well, they just called me up and asked me to do it, and I thought in '90 that it was going to be a one-time thing. I think they thought so too, and then apparently they liked the work, and so I've been doing it ever since.
And now we have the winner of the 102nd Indianapolis 500. It's Team Verizon driver Will Power of Team Penske. Will, what was your reaction when you saw the cover come off this clay sculpture and realized that was you looking back at you?
I have to say it's the first time I've seen myself like as a 3D, not an image, or not looking in the mirror. It's really, it's kind of cool to see yourself there and different. But yeah, it's just amazing to be here, getting your face sculpted to go on the Borg-Warner, along with all the other drivers that have won it. So yeah, just over the moon.
Is this one of those moments where you kind of get that pinch yourself feeling that it's another example, it's another prize that comes with winning the Indianapolis 500?
It is. It feels like you've won the lottery, and it just keeps giving. It's yeah, just such a cool process that you go through when you win the 500. Such an epic event, and it's the gift that does keep giving.
Now, I know that when you saw these three faces standing behind Mr. Behrends, it's Juan Pablo Montoya, Alexander Rossi, and Takuma Sato, the last three Indianapolis 500 winners before yourself. You had an interesting comment about Juan Pablo Montoya's face. What was it?
Well, yeah, he looks quite skinny. He does. It looks like Juan, though.
So you think that that was Juan on a diet?
I think, yeah, I guess when he was racing IndyCar, he probably was a little fitter.
Speaking of racing Indy cars, you won the big prize of the year. You won the Indianapolis 500 for the first time in your career. You weren't able to win the championship. That, of course, goes to Scott Dixon. He's a five-time Verizon IndyCar Series champion. I believe you finished third in the standings. So the fact that you finished third in the standings, it was a tough year in many ways. You won a lot of poles, you won a lot of races, but you had some DNFs that plagued you. How would you categorize your season?
Well, yeah, exactly that. A lot of was very fast in qualifying all year. Very fast in any race that I finished, but more or less had 6 DNFs. That's way too much. But in the 10 races that we completed on the lead lap, there are almost all of those were, a lot of them were top 3 finishes, and all of them top 5s.
And you really can't do that and win a championship, but you hung in there going all the way to the last race of the season before you were eliminated. When you look at Scott Dixon as a competitor and as a rival, the fact that he's now won number 5, what do you think of when you race against him? I mean, he's really one of the great competitors in IndyCar history, as is yourself. Yeah,
look, he's definitely one of the most consistent guys and has been around winning for a long time, and that's what builds someone who's recognized as one of the greats, is someone that can consistently win over a long period of time, and that's been the case with Dixon.
And our final question with you on the Autoweek Exclusive Interview. Now it's the off season. You got a lot of things to do. You're a father. You've got young Bo running around. You get to play father with him. What's your off season look like? When are you going to start working out in earnest to start preparing to win the 2019 IndyCar Series championship and possibly a second straight Indianapolis 500?
We're testing coming up here soon, so probably do a couple of test days in October. Obviously the fitness will start as I get, probably have a couple months off and then start getting back into conditioning and such. We'll sprinkle some test days in during that time before the first race. Obviously the team's working hard already on development and such to improve for next year.
And as we depart here, we still have Will Behrends still working away on the clay sculpture of your face. I know it's already been a long day for you serving as a model. Is this your first modeling gig?
It is my first modeling gig, and I think it's a pretty cruisy job, to be honest. If you can just sit here and model, I'd get paid for that.
Okay, 2018 Indianapolis 500 winning driver Will Power and famed sculptor William Behrends and the Borg-Warner trophy. Thank you for joining us today on the Autoweek interview.
Yeah, thank you.